Hey, yo, Canibus.
Peace, peace. Good Sunday morning, everybody out there. And my man, the bad boy, Good Talk, Theo. We got some special guests for you. And we got some great content this morning.
Oh, that's for sure, man. And we're gonna have some background too. That's obvious, right? Hey, man, we get fortunate now and then, man. You know, it's hard to wake PO up sleep, man. You know what I mean? He might be laid back, man, but you know, the actual black owner of the station is on with us, man. And you know, we don't get, like I said, we don't get him too often, man. So I had to make some calls, man, and see if I can get Biden to call back down, man, and connect him back to me for this show, man. PO, how you feeling this morning, man? This afternoon,
Man,
rather.
I'm good. I'm good, brother. I'm good, brother. Just recovering from our comedy show last night. What's cracking comedy, man? It did pretty good. So happy about that. But everything is gravy, baby.
Man, listen, yeah, but give us the mashed potatoes with the gravy, man. You trying to just slide some gravy on me, man. Listen, I need to eat. Listen, tell us a little bit about the show, man, because, you know, Canibus is here, man. Then we got that secret special guest in the cut. That's why I ain't called his name yet. But tell us a little bit about that, man, because we're going to rap with you for a second. We're going to get into what we got to do today. Tell us a little bit, man, about the show, man, and tell us a little bit about Bump That Radio, man. They need to know all that before they start flying it out to the air.
Okay. Yeah, I do the What's Cracking comedy show pretty much every month. And hopefully I'm looking to bring it on the road, man, take it to different cities and whatnot. We had Montel Griffin, Montel Ice Griffin, you know, who fought Roy Jones before, handed Roy Jones a loss by disqualification. I know y'all probably seen that. It was a good fight. He was, performing last night, but it turned out pretty good, pretty good. And man, we just looking to expand with the station, man, and got to touch a lot more listeners. And with you bringing on, you know, what you're doing with the Innocence Project, you and Canibus, you know, that's a good thing. So I'm definitely in on that 100%.
Well, that's PO. Like, so tell us about the show you had last night, the comedy show, like some of the names.
Oh, we had this comedian Famo. We had B, Schmitty B. My host is Ronnie George. I've been working with Ronnie for about 7 years or so, whatnot. And Montel Griffin, Montel
And where,
Iceman Griffin.
what region these comics from?
Most of these guys here, they from the Midwest here. They're from Midwest Chicago. Most of them are from the Chicago area. So I get a lot of local comics, in which some have done, you know, some pretty big things. But you know, I just expand out. You know, whoever's willing to come out and give us a show, make us laugh, man, I put them on the ticket.
The bad boy Good Talk, his life, right? It's a movie. It's an Academy Award film. The
Come on,
special
man.
guest we
We
got
on the Canibus
on the
show, man. We're gonna talk about the can
no,
that
I'm
boss.
speaking on something here. It's a point to it. And then of course one of the special guests we got, his life story is also like a film, and the the irony about the comedy is that, or stand up, for example, is that a lot of the things that we went through as artists in music and entertainment, and like even while I was saying the bad boy Good Talk, like things that he went through, depending on the personality or the personality type, they can give you humor in it. And
Yeah,
if there's ways that if they were to touch this, because I know in music, there's things that happen in the studios and stuff like that, man. If you just, set it up right on stage and you said it, it would have people in stitches.
hmm
I always remember when it comes to like stand-up comics that go from stand-up, because I come from the era of the Def Jam comedy, when downtown in the city, uh, they used to give away tickets to all the labels, and so that's how we were able to go and see the shows, because those studio audiences were like a lot of label people, who were getting free tickets during the daytime, and then after work we would just go down there to the spot. So, and then like I just want to say one of my favorite comics is Chris Tucker. and I'm gonna say why. I love Mike Epps, and you know what I'm saying. I love Aria Spears, and you know, I love a lot of those guys. But one of my favorites is Chris Tucker. I'm gonna tell you why. In all his films, I didn't know that Chris Tucker wasn't reading from a script. So when you go back and you look at Rush Hour or Money Talks or any one of those movies, his co-stars were confused because they didn't know what he was gonna say. I think that is a skill that's I've never seen anything else like it as far as like making big money films, and that's crazy. But I'm gonna shut up about all that.
Nah, never that, Bus. Never that, man. We really got to go in. We got to go in today. But first, Bus, man, what I want to know is how you feeling. You know what I mean? Before we do anything, I want to know how my brother feeling, man. How you feeling?
So all things considered, I want to say that you know you praise the creator for another day, right? And um and so all things considered, things are going well. A wise man once said, "Bad boy, good talk." Once said that a lot of times in life, you know, hate will get you into some things. You know, haters from the outside, people throwing hate at you, and love probably the only thing gonna bust you out of it. So that's kind of like the moral of this show today is that listen, whatever y'all out there going through, because I know everybody, we all going through something and multiple things sometimes, right? Carrying a lot on your back. And a lot of it, you know, the lion's share of it is hate, man. It's just unwarranted hate. And you know, love gonna bust you out of it though. Cause you can't throw hate on a hate flame and expect it to put it out. You can't put a hate fire out with more hate or gas. You got to come to it with love, and that's what we're gonna do on this show.
And that's a 100% live fact, right? So what I wanted to get to, man, was you know, I wanted to know how you was feeling. And we gonna get to that, man. I think let me just say two things, right? One, when you say that hate put me in here and love's gonna bust me out, I want everybody to know. So if you don't know who the bad boy of good talk is, aka the strategist, my actual name is Darrell Jones, and I was incarcerated. You know, for basically, I gave him 35 years of my life for wrongful conviction, something I did not do. So the reason I'm bringing that to the forefront is because when he says that hate, you know, basically got me in this situation and love's gonna bust me out, when I was incarcerated, I was watching the movie Hurricane. And I advise everybody to check that out. That was the early start, man, of really, you know, films coming out and really getting into this innocence matter. You know what I mean? Those that are wrongfully convicted. And that is exactly what my brother Hurricane said, and I passed on the bus. You know what I mean? So that's an interesting point right there, right? I wanted to just start with your tribute, man, a week ago before we take them to, because what's happening out here in the industry, it's a lot of conversation on what's gonna be said, but it ain't too much doing. You dig what I'm saying? When it comes to black folks, there's a lot of chatter that don't matter, and instead of everybody jumping on and saying how we gonna change the course, they just chat. You feel what I'm saying? So I wanna talk about the tribute, man. Let me just say something, man, because he don't sit in the cut, man. He patient, man. He's patient. But listen to this. You're gonna hear another voice coming up right here, man. This is my man right here, man. And we fortunate over here, man. And that is the one and only, man. We got the legendary Canibus, right? And then we get the legendary K Solo. K Solo, good morning, man. I'm gonna say good morning because I ain't gonna lie. I'm coming up.
Good morning, bad boy of good talk. We in that building. Pump that radio. PO. Shout outs to everybody. Good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be here. Happy to wake up. And I want to give a shout out to Canibus and his new platform. I'm happy to celebrate this honor. This is an honor to be on his station today.
Oh man,
Yo, I love you, Kev. Hey, thanks. Hey, but
brother,
Kev, shout out the homie, shout out PO's homie, man, and tell that just a little bit, baby, because that's this.
PO's cousin, and me. But man, and I can't wait to reconnect with him. We had a lot of great times in jail when I was locked up. Unfortunately, was locked up, but met great people. And there was so many great people I met in jail. Not only Greg, I met Chris Addison, Israel Moore, True Moore, the late great Joe Morning, Rakim's friends, a lot of Rakim's childhood friends. Yeah, man, didn't stop working in jail, was a boxer. I was one of the Empire State Games in Long Island and was supposed to go to Syracuse with Cut Creator and them because he was wrestling. Cut Creator was wrestling. Mike Tyson had already appeased and was turning pro through Customato. We were right behind him, myself, Buddy McGirt, and Ralph Mann. Ralph Mann was rated 7th in the nation at the time.
Ralph Mann.
Yeah, Ralph Mann. Yeah, the great Ralph Mann, the boxer. He was a bantamweight. Riddick
shout out Darrell. Let's give Darrell that love too.
Madison. Yeah, Darrell Madison. My younger brother was 13 title holder also, but came way after us. And then I went to hip hop and was fortunate to make the first album, Tell the World My Name, and then Time's Up. And I was fortunate to help.
We're gonna shout out the Salvation Army, Major Saunders and them.
Yeah, thanks to Salvation Army that basically gave us the in on how to
when you say that, not just jump right in there, man, but I definitely do dive in, right? Yes. I was sitting here thinking, man, when you say that, one of the things we talk about, man, we tell our kids over here, no matter what you rocking, man, we don't really care if you Gucci or Goodwill. You dig what I'm saying? As long as you dress for the occasion of intelligence. You feel what I'm saying?
This Salvation Army wasn't a thrift store. It was an actual Salvation Army that the members wore uniforms, and it was the actual corporation and church.
Okay. Now, what y'all ain't gonna do today, what ain't gonna happen today, man, when you got legends, y'all gotta know how this go, right? They gonna get to chat, man, then they gonna start lighting up because they got the whole history. I'm trying to get it. My job is to get it from them, right? So Solo done went past this boxing thing. I'm gonna ask some questions, man, and I'm gonna get in it, right? And we know that you can, do whatever you want to do. But before we get back to that, Solo, I just wanted to let them know you was sitting here in the cut, man, right? And how we gonna hold you in the cut like that, right? So here's where I want to go, man. First and foremost, I wanna talk about this man, right? And we are on the Canibus show, man, on bumpthatradio.com. You know what I mean? AKA with the Strategist and the Bad Boy Good Talk. And where we going today, man, we really want to talk about spiritual accounts. You dig what I'm saying? Because everybody's checking their pockets, man, like their pockets got the mumps. And they can count their dollars. They can see what they got, man. But every time we try to sit down, black men, you know what I mean? Black women, our people, it seems like all of that is change out the pocket, but we can't never get to the spiritual account. That's what we checking. You know what I mean? I'm checking your spiritual account, what you put in, what you put out, and then what that puts somebody else. You dig what I'm saying? Your spiritual currency. And I wanna really, man, talk to the people and ask them, man, what you know about Germaine Wiliams. You understand that? What you know about Germaine Wiliams. That's who I'm trying to introduce you to. Now the rest of you guys, you're gonna take it the way you're gonna take it. You're gonna do what you do. We totally understand that. But I want them to know that Germaine Wiliams, that you all would, designate as Canibus, right? Canibus, man, is a total different atmosphere than the man, Germaine Wiliams, that I know. You understand that? And I'm sure a lot of us know, and that the industry know. Because if you just know Canibus and you don't know Germaine Wiliams, then you don't know who stepped up to the mic first. You assume that Canibus got on the mic first. And we talk about the mic, right, Bus? So won't you tell them the theory, man, first of all, what a mic is and how we use a mic. We sat out on the waters, man, and we talked about this, in our own location. Won't you tell them, man, how you approach the mic versus how some may approach the mic?
All right. So the mic is a good listener. It's probably the best listener you ever gonna have. The mic will just listen. It don't talk back to you, argue with you, play devil's advocate. The mic just listens. And so that's what the mic is to me. I mean, you had pointed that out too. The mic is a great listener.
And the reason we say that, right, Solo, we know you there. The reason that we say that is because it appears to me before you wanted to go to the listeners, right? you want to understand that the mic is tuned in first, and what you put over this mic right here is what you putting out to the world, right? So
Right.
if you ain't making the mic hear it correctly, you definitely not gonna make the people hear it correctly, right? So one of those things, Canibus, man, is I got nothing but love for you, bro. You know, and we're gonna talk about the spiritual bankruptcy in the industry, and we're gonna give y'all what you want, because we know that you want to hear about what Canibus, who's coming at who, and what they doing out here. But you're gonna find out today what we were doing and what Canibus is doing. You know what I mean? What K Solo is coming into. You're gonna find out about that, because you got to know what's going on before you know what they talking about. You dig what I'm saying? So, hey, Bus, man, you know, I told him about my wrongful conviction. You know, I basically, man, did 32 solid and had to give him 3 more years of my life, man, even while the fight's going on out here. And you did something extraordinary. I'm gonna get my man Spence over here, man, because we definitely wanna get them audios. You know what I mean? You know, we gonna talk about Nipsey today and all that. You know what I mean? But I want you to tell them, man, where you were in Arizona, the move you made, bro. Tell us the move you made, man. You joined us. Over 250 of us innocent men, you know, and women in Arizona. Now, this is an artist. This is why I said Germaine Wiliams is different from Canibus, because Canibus, the artist, showed up, but Germaine Wiliams was the first one on deck. You know what I mean? I had to talk to him to get Canibus to come out. Canibus don't have no interest in the social media. Y'all should know that. I know that. You know what I mean? So that's a known thing. But when he does it, it's a pleasure, but also it's serious business. Hey, Bus, man, I want to know me, and although we did this, you know, and you came down, I want to know what you felt about that and how you felt knowing that I'm going down here, man, to an Innocence conference in Arizona to support. You were the only artist there this occasion, man, right? You understand? And I want the people to know what made you do that, Germaine, because I talked to my brother. We're going to get it real over here. What made Germaine be able to say, hey, Canibus don't do social media or none of this stuff. He's no interest in that. What made you, man, say, I'm going to come out for that, though? Talk to us about that.
So you brought it to my attention. You know, the Innocence Network, it was an annual conference that took place from April 7th through April 9th of this year in Phoenix, Arizona. Gotta tell you, when we got there to Arizona, it was still chilly on the East Coast, and Phoenix had nice weather during that time, so that was a plus. Getting in there though, first thing we did, let's send a shout out to the barbershop we went to out there. Those dudes was AJ's, right? Very they got us tightened up and stuff. And then we got right to the conference. And I want to tell you, like, before you brought that to my attention, I'm not sure, because they had like a media blackout, right? There was no media allowed there, right? Right? Right, D?
Exactly. It wasn't that they wasn't allowed, because actually, remember we sat down with Ryan from the Boston Globe. He actually wrote about it. It wasn't that they don't always be invited. You know, they try to keep it just about us, right? It's that they don't try to find us. You dig what I'm saying? Because as you saw in Arizona, although I seen the print articles, man, based on, you know, Boston Globe coming down, did you notice we didn't see any Arizona media? We didn't see any Arizona media pulling up, right? So that's how quiet kept our lives are. Although there's 250 more of us and family, so you got over 1,000 people, man, and more. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to cover that. They want to cover what's happening with WAC 100. They want to cover, you dig what I'm saying, what Jay Prince is doing. They want to cover the drama, the beefs, right? And everybody talking about bringing their homie home, but they don't want to talk about this. You were willing to talk about this, man. How did you feel getting off that plane when you came in and saw all of those innocent men and women, man? And you hearing numbers, never mind my numbers, you hearing numbers like, you know, 38 years, 45 years right off the death row all across this country. What did you experience with that, Bus? What did you feel like?
So there was a big brother there. The real tall brother. He was older than us. Where I know you probably remember his name. Real tall brother, man. He had his wife there with him. He had a little bit of salt and pepper on him, and he was tall, huge. John Henry, huge guy. Remember we was out back with that guy. He was probably the oldest out of us all, I think. And then of course, yeah, your lawyer team, and there was another gentleman there, and you guys are like the triple OGs, right? And then you got some that are a bit younger, and then you got some that are my age. And I gotta tell you, to see gentlemen that have had or lost so many years in the system being innocent. I mean, nobody's perfect, right? But the years that these men have lost. I got traffic tickets, I got traffic violations here and there. I got things, I got things that I got into when I got out of the service, and I was accosted and accused of certain things, and had the lawyer up and spent a lot of money. Like those things are a reality for melanated peoples in this country in particular. And I mean, just men and women all over the country, particularly for the melanated folks. I mean, when they take a you from your family, everybody's got to go and do that with you. It's not just you; it's a family operation. That type of thing. And I went through it, and our situation where you know, they was trying to deport me, man. Like, and it was over something where I was innocent, and so you know, to see, so I'm not while I'm not a you know, while I'm not intimately acquainted with the things that you have had to deal with, I have my run-ins, and I can tell you, it's intimidating to look and see how the system can just ragdoll you around and just run roughshod over your life. And I got to tell you, to see that people have been able, because of your lawyer team and the team of lawyers that were there, um, I'm sure that you all are thankful for them. I was looking at them, you know, it was real, it was emotional for me to look and see those lawyers from places, you know, high up on the totem pole, that were coming down the ground level and assisting, men and women to get their cases overturned and get justice. And there's a lot of sadness on one side of the fence. But I'm gonna tell you though, Darrell, on the other side of the fence, there was a lot of joy in seeing how folks have overcome. And I ain't gonna lie to you, them settlements, man, is like football player money. I ain't gonna lie to you. Them settlements, man, like, you look at them settlements, man, they're like, and they start construction companies, they're helping their communities. It's a shame that there's a media blackout with that sort of thing, and they don't want to show how, they're gonna show how you might be accused of something, and how all of the bad things that happen, and then they don't show how things are overturned and you rise above it. And that's just I'm still in just at a crossroads with how to take that in. Um it was what I do is I try to tether myself to the upside, which was the smiles. Um, that one girl that looked like Nicki Minaj, right? She had her wig was tight. She was, you know what her name is. I don't remember her name, but she was just like, because I was like, oh, she was in part of the conference. She's like, you told me, you said yeah. And she had one of them settlements, man. She sure looked like it. And I'm telling you, man, those a lot of those guys, the way they rose above, and they with their lawyers' assistance, and what they were able to do with their communities, that's the treasure. It was a treasure seeing that.
Right, true that, true that. Let me say this right here, man. Solo, you still there, baby? We got to make sure we get Solo back on the line here, right? But Bus, you know, one of the things I wanna be clear on, right? You know, a lot of times people are, you know, talking about the settlements, right? You know, the settlements kind of work like this, man. Here's an idea. So let's just say I took a brother out here or a sister and I said, here's the exchange. I want you to give up everything you got, right? And I'm gonna give you $1 million, but I only want you to do 6 months, you know, like in segregation hold. I'm coming out 1 hour a day. That's it. And in that hour, you're either gonna make a phone call or take a shower. Really, that's how it's gonna go down. If you're gonna go outside where I was, you're gonna go up on the roof. We used to go up on the roof, or you're gonna go into the dog cage solo by yourself. You dig what I'm saying? You know, you're going to go in there by yourself, man, and then that hour's going to be up and you're going to be back in that cell, you know what I mean, 23 hours a day, period, right? Now, the reason I'm saying that, hold, I got Solo coming in, man. Let me just make sure we get him on. Solo.
My bad, nigga. That shit
Nah.
dropped off.
You good. We in the middle talking to Bus. Let me just link you in so we all on here. All right, we all here? Bus.
Yes, sir.
All right. Solo.
Yes.
Okay, good. So let me finish where I'm at with Bus. So here's the idea of the settlement, right?
I got it.
You can't settle with me. You feel what I'm saying? Now we talk about taking shorts. That's what we gonna talk about with this industry today, right? It's a constant thing about who's gonna take a short out here. You know, if a dude call you, whatever he call you, you know what I mean? As we know, bitch, whatever, man, we got keywords that's like, yo, we got to go right at it. I'm sure Solo know a lot about that, throwing them hands, right? There's just certain things that we like. I'm not taking that short. You feel me?
Trigger words.
Right. So a dude might have, you know, snatched the chain or whatever. You ain't taking that short. But what amazed me by it is that when it comes to the government, man, you know, I see it taking 32 years, 35 years of my life. And then in that time, I lose my grandmother, I lose my son, I lose my brother, and I can't even go to their funeral. How the hell we settling that? We can't settle that. You dig what I'm saying? That means you telling me my brother's worth this amount, my grandmother was worth that amount, you know what I mean? My children was worth this amount, and you gonna sum that up? We can't settle that. I can't take that short. That's why we vocal. You know what I mean? That's why we moving on the innocentconvicts.org. So check that out, innocentconvicts.org. The innocentconvicts.org. Yeah, I'm gonna say that 3 times, man. 3 for the stripes for Boston, Adidas. Y'all know what it is. But real talk. They can never settle with me. And although you came down there, I mean, you almost got a billionaire fest going down there. Let's keep it real, right? Because, you know, there's a lot of money.
The only thing I was saying, I really wasn't taking away from what, you know, the things that are taken from folks, you know.
Of course not. I know that.
Like, you can't, there's no way to even quantify that, really. I don't think there's any kind of tool that you could use to measure that. It's just that I thought that that's all there was. I didn't know that they're like ball player money because of the mistakes. It's like they had to pay that much to cover up what they did and what they took from y'all. You know, I didn't know that, and to see folks able to get back to their communities and do something to change, and then do it with experience now. Do it with leadership, real leadership, ironclad leadership qualities. I think that, you know, it's really just a testament to God, you know, how he can. Job, right? The story of Job, man. You talk about that all the time. Solo knows that story well. I know it well. Job is a real thing for us, man. Job is a real thing.
We lose anybody? We still here?
I'm still here.
Okay.
This.
Okay, yeah. I just ended it off with just the story of Job, man. That's what I look in each and every one of those individuals. When I looked at them, and I just took in their energy, you know, just body language. It was just the stories of Job times hundreds. That's what I saw. And you know, Job is a heart-wrenching story on one end, and then on the other end there's victory.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. Exactly.
That's
And that's what we talk about. You know what I mean? We'll definitely come back on the Job, right? We definitely, that is a fact. That's exactly, what it is. It's the Job situation. We know that. You know what I mean? We totally understand that. And those that don't understand the biblical, the biblical aspect of that, then they might not know. But nonetheless, I want you to give me one more experience before we get into a few other things, right? I watched when you came there. Let me sum this up, man. Let me sum this up. Let me make sure that people clearly understand what's happening here. Most of the people that will come to this, you finally hearing from Canibus, and your main interest may be what's happening on social media. And we know what you want, man, PR. And we ain't talking about Puerto Rico and none of that. We talking about you want to know about Pete Rock. That's what they want to know about. We know that. Right? But you're going to know about this because I want to introduce you to Germaine Wiliams so you can understand why they always busting what you call at Canibus in the industry and not understanding that they never understood the man. You know what I mean? So one of the things is, Bus, they need to know what I'm talking about is that when the call came in, so I had an opportunity, man, to really, really, really be on some stages from Rock Kim on, time with DMX, you know what I mean? Time with Life Jennings, time with Maxwell, and more important to me, not that they're not important, but more important to me, man, to come home and be able, shout out to my bro Big Chuck and Big Bob Francis. Matter of fact, my bro had just hit me, told me he was listening and laughing about something we said earlier, right?
Big Chuck, and for sure, shout out to Big Chuck. That's right.
You dig? So now, that whole thing we going through, man, everything that's going on, when the call came out to certain artists, while everybody else is out here, man, dishing what you dishing, don't matter to me if it's drill music or what kind of music you listening to. It matters to me what you saying, you know what I mean? And one of the things was when the call went out to certain artists, right, in this industry, because when I went, I was happy, to be on these stages and to be able to deal with these artists and talk to these artists, but I had a request. Can you say something that we can use? Can you give me something for the spiritual account, man? Because I know in prison, when I was sitting there, all I heard was damn near every rap song I would hear would be like, shout out to my man up north. You familiar with that, right, Solo? Shout out to my man up north, right? Love to my nigga up north. I mean, let's just keep it real, right? That's how it would go down. And then I would go, they shouting us out. They telling our stories because they telling the stories of their mans that are in there forever, right? But at the same time, they wasn't contributing to us getting out of there. You feel me? And Canibus, Germaine Wiliams, when I said, hey, you know what, Canibus, man, we had people come down, Malik Yoba, for instance, right? Malik Yoba, literally, and I'm going to give you a little bit of audio here and there. Malik Yoba actually came down, man, to our Innocence conference, the first one that I went to. That was 2 years ago, and we were in Atlanta, I believe, because we had the first one that I went to in Memphis the year prior. The last 2 years, COVID ate it up, so we didn't have these conferences. Canibus comes to the beginning of those conferences happening again. And, Malik Yoba showed up, and now I go, Germaine Wiliams shows up, and he brings, Canibus with him. The soul of that. And I watch how the people reacted to you, Bus. You understand that? People don't understand when you in prison, y'all on the radio, we hear about K-Solo, we know somebody's mom's in our business. We listen to the joints, but we don't have no access, you know what I mean? We don't have no communication. I said, Canibus, man. When I'm talking to Germaine Wiliams, you know what I mean? Because I know the man. But I said, Canibus, man, it'd be nice, bro, if I could get you to start talking to the brothers inside the joint, man, saying something to bring them some hope, like, yo, some kind of artist in this industry is with us. You know what I mean? Somebody recognized that although I'm home, there's other brothers and sisters there. And the first thing you said was, man, where the go button? You talking too long, basically. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? Right off to the plane right there. I love you for that, bro. And everybody that got a little brother and a little sister, man, and, an aunt or uncle, because we keep that a secret in the community. You know that. We keep that a secret. It's a lot of us, man, that got brothers and sisters. And, in our families, it was one of those things like he in college. I hate to say this, bro, but when I first went away, believe it or not, innocently, Of course, my moms don't really know what to do. That's kind of what she would dish. She would say, you know, maybe he's in school or he's somewhere else, but it damn sure wasn't he's in that jail. You dig what I'm saying? And I understand that embarrassment, right? But we got to understand that our lives have been under a microscope so long, ain't nothing for us to be embarrassed about. You dig what I'm saying? Nothing for us to ever be embarrassed with anybody out here about. Bus, they were on you, bro. You flew into Arizona to our conference, right? Let me just get this in real quick because people hear me say it. Let me see if I can get I got my assistant right here, but this is not really my assistant, man. The technical man, the man that's gonna end up shooting the videos, the man that do it all, man. The man that do it all, right? My man Spence, Romano, the man with the AA bus, the man with the ponytail. Let me just see if I can get him on here real quick. Hey Spence, you there?
Yeah, I'll say it with my chest, man. What's up?
All right, we gonna. You got him? He said, peace, Romano. So, Dig, right? I want to play y'all something, man, because I want you to hear this clear when I say Malik Yoba came down the first time, right? And this is exactly what he said. So let me get a second, man. Everybody can dead their mics, man. I want you to hear how serious this is, why we're pushing the issue. You want to get to Pete Rock? We want to tell you what's been going on. We want to tell you what real artists have stepped up. We want to tell you why you over here listening to all of the madness, man, right? What I call agent blocks. Because, listen, the term we were using it in prison, right? Agent blocks, man. That's what the social media has become. You know what I mean? Blocks of agents, man. You know what I'm saying? Instagram, Facebook, man. And they're not understanding how this is getting played out. Let me give you a little bit of something, man. Listen closely. You got that? He said 3 hours later, Malik, we need you in Atlanta. Did y'all get that? Okay. Malik Yoba got the call, and it was said, man, I got time to spend with Malik. We're going to put up mad video, mad pictures, things y'all don't know over here. But Malik Yoba had got the call when we was in Atlanta, like, yo, can you come down? And that time, man, we had even more. So let's just say 300 and over that, you know, innocent men and women. And Malik Yoba came forward, and what Malik Yoba did was like, I'm there. He came down, man. He kicked it with all of us. He even played the guitar. We got all that video. We released it, so we won't just bombard you with that, right? He came. That's what I call spiritual account. He came and said, I got all this in the industry. Yeah, I'm in movies, whatever I do, but I got time to go over there and find out and give them some happiness, right? You came and did that bus, so I've been there. Ain't been no artist there. They don't show up. There is no big wheels with the big gold chains flying through and none of that right there. Not knowing that there are cats right there at the Innocent conference that got more bread than they got. You dig what I'm saying? Not knowing. They thinking it's the smaller thing, but they don't come through. You came through. Can you tell us, man, any moment that really stood out to you when you came to the Innocence conference to support black men, black women, white men, Asian men, you know what I mean? Chinese, didn't matter the nationality because we all there from every walks of life. Was there one experience, man, somebody you met there, because, you know, you had a lot of private conversations that stood out to you that, you know, was innocent, or any of those brothers and sisters that, I mean, really, really stood out or said something that you felt?
So it was a lot to take in, and I'm gonna tell you, most of it was overwhelming, because the stories, you know, that people had, the things that they didn't say. I mean, the things they did say was overwhelming, but the things that they didn't say, you know, the things that you could just add up in your mind that were going on. Meanwhile, they were, you know, the story that they were speaking on, the experience, that specific issue they might have been talking to you about. There's ancillary things that go along with that. And they didn't even have to say it, and you could pick it up. The body language, the energy. And it was overwhelming. And you know, it's not easy to take any of that you know, just take that in at one time. It's like, you know, where do you go to debrief that? Where do you go to, you know, to work that out? Once you take it all in, how do you work it out? How do you debrief that? You know, so it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. I don't want to behave as if that was something that anybody could just take in. But I
Look,
do
let
want to
me.
say that the part with the lawyers that were there, that pretty much, as far as I could see, that's y'all front line, right? Like that's the front line that would, because I remember, um, of course, like your team in particular was the team that they kind of like spread out and they're assisting others, but your situation was kind of like the catalyst for a lot, for most, if not all of it. I don't want to misspeak, but I just remember that your lawyer team, that team, and how instrumental they were and what they're doing now. And pretty much like all the praise goes to the creator first, but then like it goes to them as far as I can tell, and then it goes to the brothers and sisters for hanging in there. But the lawyer team, because we had met one of the big wig guys, right? Like the big dog. He was walking out front. We had met that guy. And he looked like he was maybe twice our age. And so obviously, he didn't have to come back down to ground level and do that, man. That guy looks like he's way above he put way above he's already a success, already successful. Don't have to come down, and I know there's risk involved to do what they do. And so I want to say how much that impacted me, and to see how fearless they are, because somebody's got to take the heat. I wanted to I don't want to leave them out, because to me it looked like they're the Americans, or I don't know of how many of them are foreigners, but insofar as America, the USA, without folks like that lawyer team that you have, and the others that were there, I think the country would implode without folks like that.
Now let me say this right here. So you were talking about the lawyers, so you know how, man, when I know it's really something that really, really matters, man, I didn't want to jump in and start naming them until you were finished saying what you were saying, right? So I was fortunate enough to have 4 lawyers, man, and I was fortunate enough, man, to be a black boy in America that had what you want to call the bomb team. You dig what I'm saying? That really, really had the bomb team. And that team right there would be Lisa Kavanaugh. That's my sister. And Lisa Kavanaugh runs, the Innocence Project, man. And it really is the CPS project. A lot of people don't know the difference, right? Each one of them have to get funding. These are not programs that help us get out of prison that have the money. You dig what I'm saying? These are programs that have to get the money. You know what I mean? And CPCS is Lisa Kavanaugh. She's running that out of Somerville. She came for me. You understand that? John Botter, man. You look up these names, man. When it comes to fighting murder cases and so on, man, he in that list, man. He gonna dig that work out. Now, had I had them when this happened to me at 18, would have been way better. And then, man, we bring it in and you look at it more. And then I was fortunate enough, man. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, fortunate. When I went back for the retrial, because my thing was we ain't making no deals. We didn't make no deals then, and I should say that they offered me, man, at that time 6 to 8, right? And I know Solo know what this about. They offered me 6 to 8. They kept pressing. I would have did 4 years back then, believe it or not. And back then, lifers were going home, man, on weekend passes. You understand that? Until Willie Horton, if you look at this here, Governor Dukakis was running for president. Look it up. And Willie Horton got out. He was one of the dudes doing forever. He was on a weekend pass doing natural life. He got out, man. He go to I'm not sure if it's Baltimore, so don't quote me on that. He gets out, man. He take a couple, man, a white couple. He raped the woman, man. He do the dude, man. He go all out, right? And they took that from us. Nobody was going nowhere. The main point is when they were offering me those deals, it was a no. They did the same thing when it was time for the retrial. And, Paul Rudolph, my attorney, really came in. Now, more for the matter was that they put us in these situations, man, and they press us. You dig what I'm saying? I mean, they really, really press us, man. And when I was being pressed, I was fortunate enough to have Neil Austin. That's Foley Hohag. Look that up. I'm their only, I hate to say it like that, man, but I'm their only black boy, man. These dudes deal right here with the Bill Belichick type cats, man. They don't deal with nothing but knocking you off.
Was that similar to the organization like what they did with Hurricane Carter when the people from Canada got together and started writing his to get him out of prison, his release papers and stuff. And
exactly, Solo. Exactly, right? Similar, man. Listen, man, I was living the same thing Hurricane was living, and a lot of people don't know Hurricane did the exact same thing I did when he came down to crunch time, and his lawyers was telling him, like, yo, this is your last appeal, because that's how they hit you with so many numbers. There's so much stuff to talk about that. But you know, Hurricane was telling them, and they were saying, hey, this is it. The lawyers are at the big trial, man. You check the Supreme Court record. They up there, and they telling them, hey, listen, this is it. Don't do it that way. If you blow it, you blow it. And Hurricane's point was, hey, listen, man, it don't matter if it's my last shot. I want all the facts out there, so we going in no matter how it go, win or lose. And he won. You understand that? But it was like that type of team. And Foley Ho had came for me, man. Listen, the investigators, the things that the cops had been hiding forever to this day, man, Neil Austin and that team, man, when they saw the little black boy, man, that they thought he coming out of Chicago, Boston, the ghetto, and they saw what was sitting at them tables, and they saw who started doing my appeal, right? They got the point. You dig what I'm saying? Now, while I'm saying that, I want to throw one more thing at you. This is how it works, right, Solo? This is how it works. Believe it or not, the first money my family was able to help get up, man, for me to get a lawyer was a black attorney, because up here in Boston, he had the name, so to speak, right? He had the name. So we was like, you know, the fake Johnny Cochran, let's get him, right? You know what I mean? Especially back then, we talking 85, man. You dig what I'm saying? We talking 84, 85. We coming down to 85. And this dude came and did my appeal. This dude filed my appeal without me even knowing, bro. But what the hell he's doing? The dude sent an investigator to see me one time. That dude didn't communicate with me or nothing, because my case didn't have nothing. There was no witnesses saying that's him for sure. There was no what do you call it, man? No. There was nothing, no fingerprint, no nothing, no motive, no nothing, man. And this dude was like, "You gonna win no matter what." So that's why I just went at it. You out of there? Yeah. I was out. I was 18 years old then. I walked out of here, man, like 52 years old. What did that tell you, right? You dig what I'm saying? What does that tell you? So I appreciate them coming for me. I just want people to understand that. And what you are learning today is that we are talking about who really is going back to get their sisters and brothers, who's using their avenues, their money, their vocals, their voices to do that, right? Not many artists in this industry, Canibus, are even willing to do what you've done. But let me give you this little clip right here, right? Now, this one I hope you can hear better, man. Listen to this carefully. This is Life Jennings. I had time to spend with Life Jennings. These people, when I went to these shows, we backstage, we eating, whatever we doing, man. You know, we celebratory about my release, and I'm with the fellas. You know what I mean? And while I'm with the fellas, man, I had a request. I ain't want you to shout me out and say DJ Third Eye and check out what he did, and you know, this dude right here really could do this and that. I wanted them to say something, because I wanted to put all those voices together on a CD and bring them back into the prison to provide hope. Look at what Life Jennings did, man. Listen to how he's talking.
If you don't know who I'm with, then you're gonna get hit, man. But my man, tell him.
Life Jennings in the building, LY. Yeah.
You heard? We talking about, man, everything that's going on with us. Life did it like we did it. Locked down in that box, man. That's why that music made. So this is my man, and we talking about cats. He ain't forgot dudes in the joint. He ain't forgot dudes suffering.
Nah, it was just popping to me, man. It's just like so many cats. Not only cats that's doing time for stuff they didn't do. Even if you're doing time for stuff you did do, and they stretch you out way worse than another cat would, man. I just want to encourage y'all, brothers. Like, sometimes, if you like me, man, sometimes hope is lost, and sometimes you be wondering, not only is you ever gonna make it out, but even if you do make it out, it's gonna still be something substantial for you to be out there for. So I just want to use my life and my whole passing as a staple, man, that just to let y'all know it can be possible, man. Not only did I go in once, I went in twice. It's 15 years, man. So I don't just have sympathy, I have empathy, man. God like Jennings, man, keep that shit going, man. It'll happen for you. Yeah.
And that's what's up, man. So that's what real love is. We don't get together. We don't do no fan shit. We don't do that. We just rock together because it's original. It's real. One love. Holla at you. Live.
Now dig, right? Now you see that? Life Jennings said, bro, that's what you want? You don't want to just picture up and do all this right here. You need the video, man. You need me to say something to the brothers. Oh, I'm gonna say something. You heard? He gonna say something. And he said something, right? And he's letting them know, I got you. I understand the situation. Hey, Solo, you done time. You there, Solo?
Yeah.
You done time, right? You know, when you in prison, man, and you know what this is about. While you were there, man, and you did time in different places, man. Tell them a few places, man, you were.
Erie County, Riverhead, Rikers, C-76, Governor, up north, I ain't go to Coxsackie. I went to downstate, Fishkill.
Okay, now in those times, right? You know, because we know the difference. Everybody always says
and let me give a shout out to Israel Moore because he's still in Sing Sing right now.
Shout out to Israel Moore.
Yeah, shout out to Israel Moore. My man is Sing Sing, and he's there now. He still calls me every day. So yeah, it's like, you know, it's just like you said. I'm just taking it all in, and it's like funny taking it all in because it's a world in a world, and you know, they don't have a voice. We are their voice, you know. And I remember being in that scenario with DMX, and just all of us was just trapped and we didn't have nothing. All we had is our mental identity. We didn't even have an outside appearance because we were nobody. We weren't alive anymore. No one could hear you unless they came in there. So, very, very, very different now, being free for a while. So that's why I'm dozing off, really not talking. I'm taking it all in, and I'm remembering exactly how it was. It's kind of traumatizing, but you know, for those that are dealing with that.
Real talk. So Solo, you know, the reason I was asking you about the joint, man, not to display the record that you were in the joint, because if they knew what you do now, man, and they will know, they'd understand. The reason I brought that up, in the times when you were in the pen, man, do you ever remember anybody that you remember, man, that you would be, everybody in the joint got the buzz like, yo, that dude didn't do that? Because, you know, the streets always know where it came from, right? That dude didn't do that. Did you ever have the experience to live around a dude in those joints that the whole jail is buzzing like, yo, that ain't the dude, man. That dude really is innocent. Did you ever run across that?
I did. He wasn't in my prison. He was in a prison in Chicago. Somebody had got murdered, and this guy was a real good popper. He was a breakdancer, and they knew he didn't do it, and the appeals didn't go in his direction. But them are very crucial scenarios, like Reuben Hurricane Carter's scenario, yours, and there's other individuals too. It's like that happens a lot because our system is broke. You know, it really is. And whenever somebody says, okay, so let's get into that great subject. The Central Park Five, they didn't do it.
We were all together, man. The conference that I'm telling you, Corey Wise and all of us, we all be together. The one that Malik Yoba came to actually had all of the members of the Central Five. We were all on the same stage together. They call us up one by time. You know what I mean? It's incredible. So I've met them all. If you watched it on TV, I was with them. You know what I mean? All across this country. That's what we gather. That's who you would have met if you participated like a Canibus, if you participated like a Malik Yoba. You understand that? If you understood that it's more than rapping about them, it's helping them, right? So the reason, what I wanted to go into is this right here, right? I want to play you one more thing, man, because I want people to understand this is factual, right? So check this out. I'm going to say this. We got all the video. We're going to be putting up these videos. We're going to be putting these audios up. You're going to see them, man, on bumpthatradio.com, on Facebook, on Instagram. You're going to see them, right? And you also going to see them on the Bad Boy Good Talk, you know what I mean, .live. We got the .com. There's a few other things, right? Spence, whatever we got over there, man, where they going to see it at. And we got Spence Romano here, man, the man with the ponytail. And he really don't rock the mic, but he know what it is. Tell them what else they can find us at, man.
You can find us on Twitter at Bad Boy Good Talk. You can find us on Instagram, Bad Boy of Good Talk. You can find us on YouTube as well, Bad Boy of Good Talk.
Okay, and the primary gonna be, man, you're gonna find it under Bump That Radio, because that's where you're gonna want to be, and you're gonna want to look for it. But I'm gonna release some stuff I didn't release. Now, that time I've been out here a little more than 3 years or more, right? And in this time, I never released these, meaning I never let people hear them. I didn't care about that part. I was trying to save them for my brothers inside. But since y'all wanna rock the Pete and rock the hate and rock all that, I'm gonna show you what real artists do. So listen in again, but I'm gonna tell you this story. Imagine this person. Now, this person you're going to hear, you going to know instantly when I say the name. how many people would pack his place and how many women gonna pack this place, right? This brother, man, stopped his concert. We in Atlantic City, man. We at the Hard Rock Hotel. You dig what I'm saying? In they big old stadium down there. And he stopped his concert, man, and shouted me out. Yo, it's an innocent man out here. And at that time, it was ironic because I'm talking back to him like 32, and he say 35, and come to turn out, I was still waiting to go through the case. It ended up being 35, right? Now, that individual is Maxwell. You heard? Maxwell. I'm going to disregard some of my language because the video's a little longer and you're going to hear. But I want you to hear what happened when I said, hey, Maxwell, this is good coming over here backstage with you, man, chatting it up, man, being by the stage, you know, kicking it with you back here. Look at all these people screaming. Look at all these women screaming. I'm just coming home too. You better know, right? Listen, I'm with Maxwell. You heard? I'm with Maxwell. I'm like a junior Maxwell at that time, man. If I could sing, I'd have got up there, right? Because I got to have some of that. Maxwell said, what you want the brothers to know? I said, man, I just want them to know you got some love for them, man, that you, as an artist who you are, Maxwell, can at least say something about our plight. Here's what Maxwell had to say, so listen carefully.
Maxwell gonna talk about that innocent being Maxwell chilling.
He locking us up for no reason, and this man right here is a hero. Blessings to all of you brothers in there. We all believe in you, we see you, we feel you, and we are fighting for your cause. Love.
Chilling with Maxwell, man. He kept it real. I'll get with him later.
Did y'all get that?
Man. Shout out to Chuck. Shout out to everybody that made it happen. Twab, everybody, man. One love, right?
Maxwell said, man, I'm going to say something. Twalib said something. There's a few people, man. So I got all those, right? These are the people that came to the forefront. My question is, Canibus, can you tell me, you've been in the industry a long time, you and Solo, a long time. What is it that they don't understand? Yo, you let Kim K come out, respect to that. You know, you help somebody out. And then she just jumped right in front of the platform, and it was like, look what Kim K's doing. She's getting somebody out. Before Kim K was doing that, Maxwell, Life Jennings, they were all doing this here for me to try to get this word out, right? Giving me the audios, giving me the videos so we could push them back. Can you tell me why it is, man, in this industry they don't understand? We're not freeing Larry Hoover. We're not freeing anybody, man, if everybody out here can show the government the people trying to free them is on hate. What you think the government doing? They saying, man, your team's haters, you ain't going nowhere because you're going to keep producing that. Why is it, Canibus, Solo? I don't know who going to take this. I'm going to ask you first, Canibus. Why is it they're not bringing out the call? When Meek got locked up, right? Meek Mills got locked up. You know, it was traffic. So is it that we got to have a lot of money to be able to say they worth bringing home, or is it that they just don't want to acknowledge the fight that brothers and sisters are still in prison wrongfully convicted? Why do you think they don't come to the forefront?
So I'm Low is my double or triple OG, and so I'm
you talking about K Solo? Go ahead.
Yeah, K Solo, because you got to understand, when I was out with K Solo in Costa Mesa, Orange County, this is before it got really popular, you know, in the in the urban community. You know, Solo, I was out there with him. We, you know, the little record label, and I was under his wing, and I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like, this is when I had got out the service. It was circa 2005. I had went to Vegas. I worked out there with Dewey Cooper, Black Cobra. I was putting records out. I was moving at a phenomenal rate in terms of recording, making music, releases. You know, met up with Shaq and K Slay also. All that type of stuff was going on. And K Solo was the one, you know, right next to Dewey Cooper, that came to Vegas, and we did that track on the DEFCON Zero record and that album. And ever since then, I've been under his wing, like, in terms of just knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that he passes down to me. It was Solo who was able to somehow, you know, bridge that skiff that was going on between the industry and a lot of the
Yeah. So now what Biss is saying is the same thing. It's like, My thing was just to spearhead a scenario to keep everybody above water, so we know, the games that the system is playing right now, and well behaved, well executed, different strategies, and like when me and Canibus was out there with.
Go ahead, Bus, man, and bring us back to where you was, so you and Solo, man, can take us there, because we talking about how you got the spirit, what was happening back then, man, to be able to make a move to say something positive. Go ahead and pick it up where you was.
Right. So of course, during that time in 05, I mean, the black ball was heaviest, even because at that time, it's like, oh, we're not letting him back in at all. We don't care what he talking about, what his rhymes. We don't care what he came back with. We don't want to hear it. And at the time, G Unit was killing it. Everything was G Unit, and G Unit was everything that they had. They had the club records, they had the records for the street, they had everything. And 50 was building that company. So, this is before the films. And Solo was my bridge. He was the bridge for me. He was my double and triple OG that was there to make sure that things wasn't getting out of hand. These clowns. Okay, let me take that back, because we still love the brothers. We love them all out there, whatever. But a lot of the graft, what I'm saying, and the skullduggery, the debauchery, Solo was my shield and all of that. And, that's why he's on the line right now, because had it not been for him, I would have got ate up out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the game is like, it's political. It's highly charged political. And what people don't understand is that, this social media, I was the first rapper with a website, probably the first musician with a website. And I knew one day that everybody was going to be on it, and everybody's going to be messing around with it, and everybody was going to be addicted to it. And I tried to bring us in under some kind of an umbrella, like hip hop under one flag, even though we all got different teams, we wearing different uniforms, but just one unified flag, so to speak. That was a pipe dream. Never happened. Probably never will, just because of the way that things have. We're gonna call the things that come in to kind of like mess with the hip hop. We just gonna call them, like what you said, the agents. The agents. We're gonna, and so that's alive in hip hop more now than ever. And without Solo, like, and I'm gonna bring Solo in to speak on it, because he was the one that stood in the gap for me. And there's another gentleman that's going to be calling in a minute, and he stood in the gap as well. But Solo, for y'all that don't know, K Solo was the first artist, rap artist. He was the first to get incarcerated and have an album put out while he was incarcerated. I don't think people know that. Like that.
Talk about it.
That whole template that record label started using, where, okay, you're gonna catch a case, and then we're gonna put your album out. They got that from Kevin. That's where it started, but it wasn't deliberate. When it happened to him, it was organic. It was organic. You see what I'm saying? And that was also a situation where, he was innocent for self-defending himself, but he was the first artist, and I don't want. I want to say it, because I don't want him to just say it sound like he poking his chest out. I want to say that he was the first artist to be incarcerated while they threw his album out. And it was selling and it was going. And that's why the record label started using that template, like, okay, so that's what you got to do. You got to get your stripes that way. You know what I'm saying? Get hood certified. Let's, you did time. Let me see the receipts. I don't believe you. Well, Low was the first one. Hey, Soto was the first one. So, I don't really know, I can't describe it as good as he can. What you were speaking on with just, that stuff is above my pay grade. But he'll tell you.
I'm gonna impose the same question to Solo. So Solo, now let me impose the question that I imposed to my partner man here, Germaine Wiliams, legendary Canibus. Put the L on it. Put some respect on the name. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna learn to do that. How can you not respect a man that y'all try consistently to only compare him to something that occurred with him and LL, and then not do your homework and know that after that him and LL got on stages together, him and LL conversed on this right here. You don't want to hear that part, right? the
But you know
question.
what, too?
Yeah,
You know
go
what,
ahead, bro.
too, real quick, Darrell? Solo defended L when he was getting into it with Rakim. See, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, people don't have a clue. Solo was the one that stood in the gap for Todd when he was getting into it with Rakim. What I'm trying to say is that on this side of the fence, it really is love. Solo stood in the gap for me with love. It wasn't just industry stuff. You see what I'm saying? And I'm saying that about now about L, not to throw no shade on the brother. That's not why I'm saying it. What I'm saying is that at that time, this is before me, before I was rapping, Solo stood in the gap for him without even being his man like that. He just stood in the gap for him. That's who Kevin Madison is. And that's what, that's really what counts. This spiritual account, the spiritual currency that you're talking about, it's a real thing. But a lot of people are unable to identify it. I mean, tell them, Lo. Tell them.
Yeah.
No, that's why I want to
What happened
impose the
was
question. Hey, Solo, but I want to make sure we impose this question, bro. Why do you think the industry, when it comes to black issues, because there's enough paper out there in the industry, because what's going on right now, and I'm going to say it, man, with this brother Hassan Campbell, Whack 100, Big U, Jay Prince, man, respect to all them brothers, but no respect to how they playing these brothers, right? And how they using their images and their strengths to be able to say, yo, now we need y'all to destroy each other, to destroy the rest of your followers while we take over this country. That's how I'm seeing it, right? Solo, can you tell me, man, why do you think that in this industry, when it was Black Lives Matter, I never saw 25 rappers marching in any of that, although we know some money was missing. Why is that?
That's the easy answer, because black culture does not govern anything but suffering, struggle, and ignoramus until they're in trouble. And then when they're in the trouble by themselves, they have to forge their own radar to figure it out. Because like I said, our culture is a subculture of white culture. I'll give you an example. When black people in Africa, when black people were slaves in 1865, and the white man took the pork chops and everything he wanted out of the pig, and he left the Africans in the back huts, whatever they wanted to do. They made it taste good, they made it a delicacy, but chitlins is not good for you. So that's the same scenario. And there's another thing too. Black culture is programmed to fight each other. They won't fight anybody outside of their culture. They know if they fight somebody outside of their culture, what's going to happen. And even if it doesn't happen, they think it's going to happen. They've been programmed to believe that's going to happen. So they'd rather fight you because they don't think the repercussion is going to be great if they fight you. And 9 times out of 10, they're 100% right. Because as long as you fight each other, as long as they don't catch you, you're not in trouble. So I answered that real good. Yeah, I'm a master with this shit.
Talk about it. This is what I love about this right here, right?
He's the people's champ. Like, he was the one that he stands in the gap. He fought the gargoyle.
Yeah, I was gonna let Rock and L do that because they're both somebody to me, and I'm going, wait a minute.
Listen. I'm gonna tell this story because it kind of needs to be said.
Hold on. Exclusive. When Bus is talking, he gonna tell that story because it's hard to get him to tell a story. Exclusive.
Listen, when all that stuff was going on, well, this is a long time later, but this is around 2006, 2007, out there in Orange County, Cali, and Costa Mesa. And I'm in the studio with Solo. He's got the Motown board. We in there, Waste Management, crazy studio. We got Tony Montana, big blow up picture on the wall, and like I said, the Motown board and the Beatles recorded on. Who else recorded on that board, Kev?
Norman Whitfield gave it to me because he started mentoring me. And Norman Whitfield, when he met me, he was the songwriter who created Heard It Through the Grapevine, Papa Was the Rolling Stone. He met me at Roscoe's, and I was signed to Death Row. And he was very adamant about me not being with Suge. And he was like, if he does something to you, and there was those conversations we would have. So when he told me to take the Motown board out, I took the MCI with us, and Norman would give me the pointers on how to build the record label. Now, visually, I learned how to build a record label by just watching Dr. Dre. I didn't tell Dr. Dre, hey, I'm watching you, and I didn't do that. I just paid Dre. Dre would say, hey, sit and watch. And I watched, and I seen how Dre, orchestrated his record label. And what I loved about Dr. Dre and Norman, what they were very special in doing, Dr. Dre didn't have any kind of negative black association to what he was doing. I always seen Dr. Dre show up at a certain time and leave at a certain time, and he was very professional. And when I seen Suge operate, it was the opposite. Dre was always on time. And after we worked at the studio, we all go to Dr. Dre's house at the end of the day, and he would wind down playing pool, cook food, and it was just a great atmosphere Dr. Dre gave me. I needed that because when I leave EPMD, it was so in shambles with EPMD. EPMD was always at each other's throat, but differently. They was like Black America. In other words, they would never say something in each other's face. They would always do it like Black culture does it. And I was weird. I'm saying to myself, wow, this is so weird. So when I took Sam Snead and we got away and went to Dr. Dre, it was totally different. And it was a breath of fresh air on how Dr. Dre worked. And I was like, and then when I met Norman Whitfield was giving me the points that I didn't get from Dre. The social commentary part of how you put the departments together. He would tell me like there were different parts at Motown, and I would say, well, how to explain it to me? And Norman would tell me, well, you have a choreography department. They're going to show you how to walk, how to talk. They would put books on the girl's head. And they would tell me the names of the men and how many hours they worked on these artists a day. Then there was wardrobe. The wardrobe, how they always looked, how Marvin Gaye and them had to be always creased up and clean, or they couldn't take pictures.
That's what I learned from Kev. It's called artist development, not artist rep, but artist development. So it's not A&R, because everybody knows A&R, but there was A&D, which they teach you, they develop you. So Low, that board that he had, I'm sitting at the board with him, right? The phone rang. It's DMX on the phone, right? X is like, yo, Canibus. And then, in the X voice. And I don't want to talk in his voice because I'm not making fun of nothing. This is not a joke. This is serious. X is big and he's saying, Canibus, I love you. K Solo, I love K Solo. I would never say nothing. I would never say nothing. I would never say nothing crazy. I love y'all, man. You heard? And that tone that X talks in, the growling, it's X. It's not Ari Spears acting like X. It was X, right? And was like, yo, y'all love y'all, and got off the phone. And we really didn't even get a chance to say nothing. I don't know where it came from. Me and Kev looking at each other like, what was that? Because one of the shorties X used to mess with was there, and she had his number. That's how she got him to call. I think he thought he was calling her, and then she told him like, yo, they here. And he got on the phone and he said everything he said was all positive. I know he was in a good mood, but he was also speaking from the heart. It was positive. The next day, this is when everybody out there is thinking that they at war and all of this stuff, right? He calls and he bigs us up. Then the next day, and remember, him, X and Low got their own relationship. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with me. But then X, since I was there, X was bigging me up too. Got off the phone, right? Me and Low looking at each other like, what the fuck was that? Yo, the next day, we took it in stride. Everybody slept well, all that. Yo, next day, X was on MTV, and somebody asked, yo, what's up with K Solo? He said, man, fuck K Solo.
Talk about it.
The game is crazy. Let me tell you
because you gotta understand. Me and him had the same. It's crazy.
Let me say this one part, Lo. Yo, man, y'all out there and bump that radio dial in. Y'all got to understand something, man. Whoever else listening, the game is crazy. Trust me when I tell you, because the only three people that knew what happened was Low, me, and Shorty, and then of course X, right? But the next day, it turned into a firestorm where everybody, Solo phone ringing, my phone ringing, like yo, man, that nigga talking reckless, this, that, that. And we looking at each other like, you know what? And Lo was like, man, we not even, bitch, you already know what I'm gonna say, right? I said, I know. He was like, man, we not even going there. Now, the reason that me and him bond on that is because that's the same kind of thing that would happen with L, right? Like if Mikey D, because Mikey D is close with L, I do a song with Mikey D. It starts to play on Rock the Bells, and then everything's cool, right? Everything's cool. But then the next day, somebody will run an article and they'll create drama or say something that is in the past, way in the rear view.
Well, can I say something now? Can I say where that comes from? You know where that comes from, guys? In slavery, the slave owner would make them fight. So in all fighting combats in slavery, they started the battle royale. So when Jack Johnson was a kid, he was 7 years old, all the white people would get all the sharecroppers kids together, and they would all put the kids in the ring, and they would blindfold them and put one glove on them, and they would tie the other hand behind their back. And whoever was the kid that was standing out, that got knocked out all the other kids, they would train him as a fighter. There were fighters that were actually made. Nigga Charlie and all of them were fighting in the backyards, killing slaves, and he would be the one they would breed. So this is where you get all of this from. That people don't understand the origin of the word nigga. It's not created for black people. But Webster Dictionary doesn't have an account of it, because Webster Dictionary came after they rewrote the history. There's the first history you missing. That was wiped away. They ripped it up and burned it up and rewrote it. The word nigga was for Irish people coming from the potato famine. They was eating their dogs in Ireland and came to America. When the Indians lost they lost their land, and they call them red niggas. Where's the account of that?
Red niggas, ain't that some man?
And they called them yellow. The Chinese that was on the great, they call them rice niggas.
And they call the Middle Eastern sand niggers, man. Like
they call the Middle Eastern sand niggers. So where did the black men? And this is what I'm saying about black culture. They don't read. Not all of them. A lot of them don't read to know the history. And if I told 95% of these black kids right now who say they black movement, who is John Brown? And if they don't know, we should whoop their ass.
Oh, talk about that, bro, because listen, I got to jump in on this, man. And I got to also say this right here, man, because P.O. will be calling me, right? You know what I'm saying? This is a black man-owned business radio station, of course. BumpThatRadio.com is what you on. If you didn't have the app to this, too, you better get the app, because there's going to be a lot to respond to. Do you all realize we ain't even talked about the PR? And we ain't talking about Puerto Rico. You understand that, Pete? Right? We trying to school you on something. You on BumpThatRadio.com with the Bad Boy Good Talk. Man, y'all go get that in.
But I say that to say this. When now you know what I'm saying. Like, there's a John Henry Clark was an African historian who schooled us on a lot of things too. You just got to get his books. So when you understand, even in, do you know why Africans were slaves?
Real quick. Like before we get, that's why I got you a show. That's why you got your show, man. They got you a show. You gonna school them with all that, man. Listen.
Okay. Let me
tell him what his show is, because he got a show too.
Yes.
When you say PR.
Yes, let me get this, Bus. Let me get this, because I want to hear
this real quick.
Go ahead, bro.
When you say Pete Rock, all right, you heard the name Pete Rock. I said it, the name Pete Rock. What am I saying right now? Pete Rock, we love you, brother. Let's say it in accord, man. Pete Rock.
Pete Rock, we love you, brother. Hey, yo, Pete hey, Bus, we love you, brother.
Now look, that's what's said. Watch this, right? That's what's said. This is a controlled experiment. Now, that's what was said, right? But see, no one's gonna grab onto that and go run with that. We're doing that here at BumpThatRadio.com. Now, what they want to run with is the craziness. Now, let me explain to you the craziness. The craziness is going on. We're gonna attach this craziness to a name, not a person, but a name and a spirit and an energy. We're gonna call this shit Jupac. Okay, Jupac create shit and have us fighting each other. Okay, it's not a real person, but it is an energy and it's a spirit. And that's what Jupac created all that shit with Pete Rock and Canibus. You know why? Because the last time I saw Pete Rock, you can ask him. And I got witnesses. The last time I saw Pete Rock was at an event with Jeremy. There's a gentleman out here that does events and stuff. Jeremy with the Source magazine and stuff. So Jeremy did an event, invited me to come through. I came through the event. Rakim was there. Greg Nice and Smooth B was there. Rakim and his son was there. Pete Rock was there. Um, Dougie Fresh Family was there. Who else was there, man? It was so many. Grandmaster Cash from Cold Crush was there. There was so many there, man. And I sat and I chopped it up with him. My man from allhiphop.com was there. When I walked in the room, in the green room in the back, when I saw Pete Rock, and we called each other attention. Pete Rock, his witnesses, was standing there. Pete Rock was wearing a pink suit, right? Or lavender. He got on his knees like as if he was like praising, like, "What's up, Canibus?" Like, and got on his knees. Witnesses saw it. Then I was like, "Hey, what you doing, man? Get up." And he got up and we hugged. That's the last time I saw Pete Rock physically, right? And then the last time we talked, Solo was in the car with me when we talked to him on the phone. And everything was cool, right? So when I heard about all of this stuff going on, I was putting in with contractors. I was working under these contracts, putting in something called a fuel fill valve, a very difficult thing to do. Needed both my hands. I didn't have no time to pay attention to this stupid ass social media. What I'm trying to explain to y'all out there is that when this thing came up, I said to myself, he must have somebody hack his account. That can't be him. That's my mind state the whole time. I know people try like, yo, why you ain't saying nothing? Why? What do you mean? I know Pete. Last time I saw him, everything was love, and I talked to him. Everything was love, and Lo can tell you, we was in the car, we was talking to him. Everything was cool. So I'm not gonna believe what social media talking about. I need y'all to know something about me. I was the first black artist, might be entertainer with a website. Period. The first. So everything everybody else doing now, I've been through it already. I already been through the gauntlet with the media lying on you and running left and going right and ragdolling you. Not pop media, but pop rap media. I've been through all that. Like, try to use your brains and think about it. Who was going through what I was going through at the time during 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 02, 03, 04, 05, 06, 07, 08, 09, 010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Who was going through all that shit in the media? Who's going through what I went through? None of these rap niggas. So my point is, it ain't new to me. I'm not going to jump to something just because one of these bullshit publications say something. It don't move me. It don't move the needle because in my mind, it's a lie. It's not real. To this day, I don't believe it's Pete, and I don't believe Pete got a problem with me because I know I don't have a problem with him. I love him. We all love the brother. I know that's not real. So I just need y'all to know out there, please try to get direct information and direct knowledge about what's happening before you start to, activate. Don't activate because of what you just saw on social media because it's dangerous and it's creating an atmosphere where we ain't never gonna get out of this hole and we're never gonna be successful and we're never gonna approach just a little semblance or slice of happiness and satisfaction. Because if you look into social media to communicate something that we all used to communicate on our own without it, I'm telling you, you're looking at the wrong communication device. Because this thing right here it'll have you thinking that your brother is now your enemy. And it's not so. And I'm not going to address anything further about it like that because it's not real to me. That's not real. And I was the first one to have a website. So can't nobody tell me it's real. And I know it ain't. I know what goes into, I'm not a coder, but I employed coders. I know what goes into the websites and making it. And I understand how the news cycle runs with these little rap. You know what's really disappointing to me? Like, I'm not going to put this energy on my brothers that we all make music together. We all been through the game. We all know the ups and downs, and we all still tangoing with that. Let me put the burden on these publications. They doing worse now than they was doing when they was just magazines. To me, the way it look now is like, wow, man, like y'all carrying a water now worse than y'all was doing when it was just magazines. A lot of these websites, you know, what they're doing, what they're doing to like the rap community, it's their fault that the rap community is still fragmented. But we got to take responsibility though for what we allowing them to do. And I ain't gonna say no more because I'm not no leader, and I don't want to be no leader, and I don't really want to tell y'all how to get out of it because then that makes me a target. Because if me trying to tell you, you know what, don't really put all your eggs in that basket, that social media basket, because I'm telling you they're gonna get crushed. If I tell you that now, I become a target because they don't want you to know that. They want you to believe everything that comes out of that idiot box or everything you see on that screen. It's not so. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. And I don't want to be no target for y'all, man, because aside from the brothers that's on this line, it's like y'all don't even care, man. Y'all ran with all the narrative all them years ago. Y'all ran with that. I got big interviews coming up in the next couple weeks. And when I get on them, what they gonna do? They're gonna ask me about second round. They're gonna ask about that. Why? Because of y'all. That's what y'all want. So that's what they're gonna give them. And it's 2022, and they still gonna go talk about the old stuff. And you know what? That's what y'all want. So you know what? Run around the merry-go-round. You know what I'm saying? Play leapfrog with unicorns all you want, and just be where y'all at and be happy with it. But don't be expecting brothers that know better to jump down with you, to jump down into that, because that's a cesspool of rubbish, man, and nonsense, man. You know, we love Pete Rock, man. That's how we conquering that, man. Y'all trying to make hate and create hate. I don't care. I don't care who hacked his account. And even if that was, I don't believe it was the brother. But I don't care what was going on with that. I'm saying right now, we love him. And it's true. I loved him before that. When it was being said, when all that stuff was running, that's why I didn't say a word. Ain't nobody got me on no Twitter or no Instagram. I hate that shit. I hate all that shit. You know, you ain't see me on there saying nothing. Why? Because I love my brothers, man. And you're not gonna see me say nothing otherwise. If you see me saying it, now you can run with it. I was looking at some of them articles, like, a week later, and I'm seeing a picture that I took with Wyclef and Jermaine Dupri JD out in Atlanta at a SXSW event, whatever that was. They took a picture from that and then sliced it in half and then took a picture of Pete Rock and it had the one where he looking at me to the side and I was like, and then have my words talking crazy and calling music trash and stuff like that. And it's like, you know what, man? If y'all want to see a fight, me and the bad boy Good Talk came up with an idea. Y'all want to see if everybody want to see a fight, whether it's on wax or whether it's in the street or whether it's in the cage, like everybody, because that's what y'all love. Y'all love the excitement. So if we want to turn it into something that's exciting, where everybody could get some goddamn bread, because I don't see what the point is, y'all giving all this money because the advertising money, man. Y'all can't even buy a candy bar with all that time y'all spend and invest in these little publications, these little websites. If y'all want to do something to generate something, let's turn it into something. Let's take that energy that they done created. Let's turn it into something. The bad boy Good Talk got connections. You know his network is crazy. And you know what? People was talking or whatever. So we could put a beat battle together. We could put a beat battle together. You see what I'm trying to say? And invite other artists in. Instead of putting them fingers to work on the triggers, let's trigger the drum machine buttons, right? Let's turn it into something. Bad Boy Good Talk got connections. We could turn it into that. Let's get some money. Because a lot of times I feel like y'all want the entertainment because, you know, some of us out here ain't got nothing to do. You definitely ain't busy. Because if you was busy, you wouldn't have no time to be either making these type of articles or commenting on these articles, because when you look at the amount of comments and the amount of fanfare that it attracts, it's crazy to me. To me, it looks like, you know what, y'all are not making the best use of your time. I can't believe it. I cannot believe that y'all out there spending all that time on that foolishness, something that ain't even real. But if y'all want to spend time on something, y'all want excitement, let's bring that to something where we could generate something. See, And the Bad Boy Good Talk got details about that because we can do that. We can do that, you know. And I'm gonna just end it off with you. Yo, we love you, Pete Rock. Can we all say it in the core, brothers? We love you,
We
Pete
love you,
Rock.
Pete Rock. Yo,
All
we
right.
love you. I got no reason not to, man. I'm coming home.
Yeah.
Listen, when you said that right there, Bus, I was sitting here through this whole thing, man. And let me just say this again. If you didn't catch it when I said it at the beginning, I said I'm gonna bring y'all Canibus, but I'm gonna bring my brother Germaine Wiliams. You might not have caught that, right? What you just heard was Germaine Wiliams. They talking about Canibus, something that he created, and then they decided how it was going to do. You dig what I'm saying? How it's going to go down. You listening right now to Germaine Wiliams, a man, a human being, man, and not only that, intelligent ass brother. If you wasn't hip to that, then you wouldn't understand why somebody would come out of prison 32 years innocently and then say, I'm gonna be over here, we gonna do this together, because the shit that I came home to, that I watched on TV, that I thought everybody was about it, and I can turn around and go, damn, man, I would have loved to have Whack 100's hand, to have that many brothers behind me and be able to say, let's mount up and do something. You dig what I'm saying? And demand our brothers back and our sisters, and demand that we actually at the forefront. You dig what I'm saying? Some demands. We ain't really demanding much out here, right? Yo, for me, I looked at everything that was available to me, and then I realized, yo, whether it was DMX, whether it was a brother, I'm about to show you something. Nipsey Hussle, man. You know what I mean? God Be With You was beautiful, never dies. Yo, when I came and seen it, I was like, it all hit me, man, because I had a chance to be with Nips. It hit me, and I went, wow, I done came home, man, and these dudes are rich, but they are spiritually bankrupt, yo. When Nipsey dies, when X dies, somebody else is rocking that chain. You dig what I'm saying? Somebody else is rocking your shit and talking about you, and you ain't got no voice. Germaine Wiliams got a voice. He's still here on the planet. He just gave you all the years. Hey, yo. Real quick, man. We got Big Tiz. Big Tiz is calling in. Big Tiz.
All right, please pick up.
Yo, Big Tiz.
Yo.
All right, hold tight. We're going to throw you on. It's me, Bus Solo.
My peer group.
Hey, yo. Hey, Canibus. Hey, Solo. Okay, Solo will come in. He probably got the mute on, right? Hey, yo, Big Tiz is on the line, man. Bus, man, y'all handle that. Tell him who Big Tiz is, man. But the calls are going to come in.
Okay. So many years ago, yo, Big Tiz. Yo, listen, many years ago, right? I did records with Lost Boys, Beast from the East, My Crew, with A+2. Music Makes Me High, like a lot of records that some of the folks from our era, they love, they party too. That's when I was, trying to make records that, I was following it under Lost Boys wing. So, Cheeks tried to have that little bounce. I tried to have a bounce with him in the studio. And then we had Redman on Beast from the East and stuff. And just in general, Lost Boys was a commodity in rap that nobody had the bounce that they had. Like, that was our only group on Group Home. And one of the owners and the founders of Group Home, one of them is Charles Suit, which I'm sure everybody knows, because Charles Suit was the face that everybody saw. There was a face that was behind the scenes and a force behind the scenes that most people don't know. And that gentleman is on the line today. And I think that it's imperative that y'all hear from the brother. And Big Tiz, it's a treasure to have you here today, Tiz.
Man, anything for you, my dude.
I love you, man.
I love you too, Ken. I love you too, Bess.
Talk to him, Tiz. Talk to him, man.
We here. Bess is, man, he's been talented since day one. I met Bess in the beginning of all this music stuff, for the Lost Boys.
Hey, Big Tiz, man, Bad Boy never like to interrupt, but I'm not gonna let the people sit here and go, who Big Tiz? Because that's the whole Whack 100 in the mess. Man, y'all better tell them who Big Tiz is, man. Socialize that conversation.
Man, Big Tiz is,
he's one of the owners.
Like you said, one of the founders of Group Home. I'm the one who got Cheeks and them the first deal we had with Uptown. Like you said, my partner's Charles Suit. We started this joint in New York, took it from New York to Atlanta, then took it back up top. We had not only Lost Boys, we also had Canibus, as you know. And man,
from that era, from that era back then, you had to recognize us. We came in the door with the cheeks in them, and then brought Canibus in the door, and I ain't even got to speak. You already know what Biss did when he came through. The crazy part, I got snatched out the equation. You know what I mean? In '95, I was gone for a long time, and I always felt, me personally, that this whole movement could have been much bigger had I still been there. But we ain't crying over spilt milk. You know what I mean? We definitely made noise, and we still here. We still here.
Right. And
you told him, hold on, man, because this is for every innocent brother and sister out there, Bus. Yo, Tiz, man, don't just tell him you just came home, man. Tell him how long you know how long you was in that and where you was, and then I was just talking to you when you came home. Tell him, man, this is what's wrong with the game. Nobody is telling it, man. On bumpthatradio.com, we gonna be telling it. Tell them who you are, bro.
Listen, the 26 years, man. Had a life sentence, get a life sentence back to 53. But 53, I wound up doing 26. I was in the USP for 17 and a half years behind the wall, which is the max. Then I dropped down to the medium, you know what I mean, after 17 and a half. Like I said, man, my name Platinum inside, my name Platinum outside. Everybody know me, you know what I mean? It's not a game. They know who I am.
Hey, I took his gold rosaries to him and his gold carts, man, and he still got them. You heard?
Come on, man. Come on, man.
He still got them.
But Canibus is not, like I said, that's family, man. I love them.
Hey, you fellas, right? Can you? Hey, Big Tiz, would you talk on this right here, bro? From that time in the industry to now, right? To now,
right.
How could it be a situation? And I'm not saying we know nothing about them. I don't know these brothers. I'm in the penitentiary like you, right? We don't know nothing about this shit. We know real survivor. We know real killers. We know, you know what I'm saying? We see real bodies, and you can't bust a shot, nor can you send your little man to do it. You better be able to do it yourself. We know that, right? You dig what I'm saying? We know that's survival. Tell me, man, if you could, bro, why you think, man, they could manipulate a social argument out here in the world, man, with people like the Big U's, the Whack 100s, the Hassan Campbells, right? You know what I mean? The Gillies. And I'm going to talk about something Gilly did that I could recognize, man, when we talk about taking the short. But can you tell me why you think today the industry, man, people that's supposed to have been in this game and did it for real, ones that we inside prison strive to come home and be like, we got the link with them, right? Especially when they talking Larry Hoover. Can you tell me, man, why you think this could happen, bro? Like, I never seen this in the joint, out the joint until now. How could this happen? Never have generals, man, that ran armies in our hoods ever came out this social and said everything, man, and who had paperwork and your mama. This, I never even thought it could happen, man. You saw it from the beginning up, man. Tell me something, bro.
I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to understand the question. You saying tell you? I understand.
I'll repeat that question. How do you feel knowing that you were there, man, in the original platform of this history, right? You understand? Right. In this industry, and come home today. I don't know if you following it, man. I really don't be following it, but this got to come up. Today? Yeah, and today have brothers that have done time like us, brothers that are supposed to, be solid brothers, and get on what I'm going to call again, man, the block agents, right? The block agents, man, the Facebooks, the Twitters, all that, and have conversations, man, that is being had out here right now, and that's what they trying to create with the Pete Rock and Bus. What happened, man?
It's just a different era right now, man. That's all. Right now, it's a social media era. When I left, there was no phones. Everybody wasn't walking around with the phones. Only people who had phones back then was dudes in the street, for real. Now everybody got phones, social media platforms. It's a different era. I ain't mad at this era. You know what I mean? You got to be, bottom line, you got to be real in whatever era you in. So I ain't mad at this era. They doing it how they do it. You know what I mean? I ain't mad at them. It's just a new era right now. But real gonna recognize real, no matter. Real gonna always shine for, no matter what era you in.
And Tiz knows L. You know, he knows him. Tiz was gone when all that stuff jumped off. Man. Tiz knows him. If Tiz would talk to him,
I know the crazy part. I knew LL before I even knew Canibus.
See,
I bet L been my man.
Tiz was home.
I wasn't present when all that took place between the two. Right. It wouldn't even happen had I been home.
See?
You know, man? L, my little man. Always has been my little man. But Cam is my brother. That's family. But like I said, that's water under the bridge. You know what I'm saying?
No, it is.
Even that was epic. That whole
Tiz,
that whole battle. Go ahead.
Tiz, we only well, remember, Tiz, since even though you out here, we never even talked about this on no social media, no nothing. This is your first and only time, and I would, Tiz, I would never even have called you to say call up if I didn't think it was important,
Right.
So at least they gotta hear it. It gotta
Hey, Canibus, you know I'm not gonna interrupt you, bro. I want them to hear you, man, not the people in the background. This anyway, because everybody's out and about.
That ain't me.
Okay, that's right.
I'm in traffic.
Okay, let it roll then. I apologize, man. We're gonna let it roll.
I'm running around 2,000 people right now.
All right, Tiz. I'm gonna let you go though, Tiz. But I just wanted you to, when you stated that, that's just one time. Nobody even knows that, because a lot of times we bear the weight, just like Tiz did. He bore the weight of all those years, knowing that he was one of the founders of Group Home. And you just hear his name in a record, but I mean, you hear somebody's name on a song, you might say the song because it's your favorite song, but you don't know who that person is. You don't know what they mean to us. You don't know what they mean to, to the organization, to really what we owe them. You don't know. And so that's a lot to carry on your back. And so I called him to call in. He gave us his time to call in, and he told the story, and y'all heard it the way that it really is. And this
Listen, man, I'm home. I'm happy to be home, and always a pleasure to do anything to help my man. You know what I mean? Like I said, Canibus is family. Always will be, always have been. You know what I mean?
Wow, man. Hey, Big Tiz, man, I'm honored over here, man. You know what I mean? Bad Boy Good Talk, aka the Strategist. But bump that radio, man. We can say clearly right here on this mic, man, authentically, that was love, bro. You know what I mean? To take the time in those 2000, whatever it was, man, and jump on for Bust the same way K Solo do. That's what you call brotherhood. Like, nothing in this right here was about let's get at. All I heard was bricks being laid, man. Let's build something. Yo, this is what we missing, yo.
Facts.
Hey, thank you.
Keep it going, y'all. Keep it going, man.
Thank you,
yo. I got to exit.
Yeah, word. All right, Tiz.
I love.
Yes, sir.
Love to all.
Love y'all.
Talk to y'all. Oh, that's Solo. Hey, Solo. That's Tiz. That's Solo.
What up, Tiz?
Oh, he already bounced. Yeah.
It's all good. I heard him. Man.
So as you can see, like, I'm surrounded by dudes that
he rocked the rope and said he's gonna whoop your ass when he see you.
See, you loved him. You loved him, man. You loved him out, man. That was the last little bit.
He said, Solo, don't tell Canibus when I see him, man. I'm gonna whoop his ass. I said, oh shit, he love you. I'm gonna love him too. We black, Solo. We ain't none of that shit. I said,
these dudes is comedy, man. But the moral of today's show, though, really is y'all gotta just take a little bit of responsibility when these publications and these social media is saying things. Give it a little breather to figure out what's going on, because I'm gonna tell you how serious it is and how dangerous what's going on is. I'm gonna just tell you how dangerous it is, right? And once again, this would get me in trouble for saying this, but y'all need to know this, right? You got to be careful what you taking in on a social media, because the same publication or the same website address, URL, that's stirring up the pot and stirring up the killer bees, it'll be the same publication that's getting you in trouble after that, and the same publication that's cheering whatever your demise is. And that's not just your demise, but your family along with it. So
shout out to that brother Young Thug and them, right?
Y'all really got to start just taking responsibility for that, because if you don't take responsibility for that, that means you're a child and you're not capable of taking the responsibility for it, and that's okay too. If you don't have the mind power to understand what I'm saying or what's going on, it's anything about what I'm saying. It's what's happening every day. If you don't have the wherewithal to just say, you know what, The brother's right though. It's the same publications that stirring the pot, then turn around and pouring that hot grease on you, and then turning around and then laughing at you. Like you don't know these people in the comment section. They not. How many of y'all really think these folks is real? Who has the time to sit down and chat all day on a goddamn website, man? With faceless avatars and random names. Who? Y'all gotta stop being so gullible, man. Especially since we created this rap thing. We created this, man. We created this. And y'all let outsiders come in and wreck you, you know? And I'm right there with you because I got wrecked too, you know? And no matter how much I say, look, that social media thing, everything's in the cloud anyway. You could be on the social media just talking a little reckless. You might be joking, but you know what? Depending on the way that's presented, that thing could turn around. What's in the cloud could turn around and be your demise. And I know that there's elements that don't want you to know this. And then there's other elements that are laughing at me for saying it because y'all ain't listening any goddamn way. So at this point, I don't after this show, I don't care and I ain't gonna talk about it no more. But I need y'all to know that that's really where it stands with me, man. Don't expect me or none of my folks and none of these gentlemen that you hear on the jack to be reacting to these stupid little websites, man. These websites don't mean nothing. When I'm sitting there on my hands and knees, like working on this fuel fill valve, because diesel was like $8 a gallon, and about to be 10 and change. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no website gonna help me deal with that. That's physical work. Y'all are crazy, man. Y'all got to taking start paying attention to what's really happening, man. Start to get your news from direct sources. Have direct knowledge about what you're talking about. If you want to laugh about something, cool. But don't be mad when it start to get serious because it's not funny anymore because somebody taking your life and they roller coasting you around and you ain't even said what they saying you said. It ain't got no pictures to prove it. They just talking. They just slicing pictures and putting them together and somebody writing the narrative and I swear to you, man, you will never even ever get to see that person that's writing about you like that. And like I said, I got big interviews coming up in the next weeks and months. And yeah, they're gonna ask about old stuff, the same stuff I'm talking to you about now. And they might take it and try to spin it. And I need y'all to know, what's real and what ain't. Because if you don't know, and you're not, these are not fans we talking to. We talking to our brotherhood and our sisterhood. We talking to our family here. Our extended family. And if y'all can't tell the difference, then you know what? We doomed. And that curse that I always talk about is real. And we are doomed. We're doomed. And let me be the first to tell you that. If you can't figure this out, we are doomed. And maybe that's how it's supposed to be. Maybe that's how the story's written, you know? Maybe it ain't no peaches and cream and all that happy ending and all that stuff. Maybe that stuff is just a pipe dream. But the Saints are here. K Solo's one of them. Tiz, you just heard from him. He's one of them. Darrell Jones, Bad Boy Good Talk, he's one of the Saints. They one of the Saints. I don't want to put myself in that category because, tell you the truth, I'm intimidated by all this stuff. It's too much. It's too much to try to, you know, so respond to this. Or what do you think about that, man? There's no way I could wrap my mind around all of this, man. These folks out here in media, social media world is crazy. So, I love y'all very much, all of you. Every name mentioned today, we love you. Yo, L, I love you. I put Tiz on. I know you and Tiz, y'all got your own relationship. I wasn't trying to bring him on to blow you up or nothing. Um, Rakim, the God, you know what I'm saying? Allah, I wasn't trying to blow you up. Neither saying how Solo, stepped in the gap to not make you get at L and all that. That's when they was young anyway. That's their own relationship. I was just telling it the way that it happened. Right? So don't be mad at me because I said it. I mean, that's what the hell happened when keep y'all keep squeezing something. Eventually, what's gonna happen? What the guts gonna come out, right? You keep squeezing some shit, the guts gonna come out. And the guts gonna be what you see. How you gonna keep squeezing something and don't expect no guts to come out? So that's all y'all got a chance to see there. Y'all got to see the guts of things, where things came from, the strengths behind things, the real power behind it. And it was a treasure to even just have them come together for me. I thank all of them for doing that on my show today. I love y'all. And Solo, what you got to say, brother?
Let's hear it. You did?
Solo.
He working it.
What's up, bad boy? Good talk. What you got to say?
Nah. What I really got to say, man, is something that, I want to play while we got a chance. Solo will hit back on the line. You know what I love about this right here, bro? Because I ain't never done this. I'm in prison forever, man. I ain't never done this. When somebody says do this right here, and another black man, from my hometown, Chicago, and we all family over here, and same block, same life, man. Bump that radio now. Office in Chicago, originating now in Atlanta. You dig what I'm saying? 6,000 followers, man, just instantaneously, and y'all don't even know it exists because you just like I know the dude on Darrell, the innocent dude. I see him on TV. I seen that, and then don't understand like. Nah, he's in another social world here where you can actually call somebody, whether they were working like Big Tiz, they had a show, they'll pick up for you. And that's what we were talking about, Bust, with me and you talked about the passport click, right? The passport click is our way of saying, hey, yo, you know what we need with each other? You can't go to no other country, right, without that passport. What we need to be able to say is, if I'm going to go from Boston to Atlanta, put me on with somebody in Atlanta, and they're thorough and I'm thorough, and this is our passport to each other so we can start going to different places and getting that money for real without the drum. You know what I mean? They call it check in. I'm saying check all the way in. Pull that passport out and be able to say, I got my bro over there, Big Chuck Stanton, man. You know what I mean? And laid it down. Boston knows. Let me repeat. You heard? Boston knows what he done. You dig what I'm saying? They know the role. Been in Cali over there killing it, man. You ain't got nobody else, man. I'm gonna say this, Chuck, man. Where Aria Grande are stopping by the crib, man, checking all the kids just hanging out in the kitchen. That ain't happening too much. Jennifer Lopez, Eminem. I don't know nobody that he ain't been with. You dig what I'm saying? And here we are, little boys. We in the same house, and now everybody know him. I'm home. You might think you know him. I know him. That's why when I say big bro, it's a different tone than your big bro. Even when we beefing, you heard? It's the same thing. The reason I'm saying that is because look at what I found out, man. When you were a kid, man, I don't know, some may have been acting up in school. I can't say that I didn't cross the boundaries here and there. Maybe spoke up when I was supposed to, whatever, right? But, when they had hall monitors, like literally, they get somebody in the school to be the hall monitor to write down on that paper like, yo, Jones is out here in the hallway. You remember that? Okay. I ain't never, bro, in my life thought. I mean, you see it in prison, man. Listen, if you got ladies, I'm going to say this to every woman out here. Normally, when it's a dude that's doing what he's supposed to do and making it, the game in prison or out, the best thing to hit him with. Now, you ain't going to never probably see no paperwork, and you ain't saw the action either, but what they turned, and I hate to use this language, but we adults over here, and especially on this Sunday, I don't know what my grandmother be saying, but I hope she be saying, boy, you keep it real like they keeping it real, and that's the only thing we know up here, right? Yo, I'm sitting there saying to myself, man, hall monitors, you telling me when I hear Nipsey's name, a man that's in his prime, that got me next to him, shout out again to Big Bro, Big Chuck, shout out again to Bob Francis, and I can come home and be with Nipsey Hussle, not over here on the side, let me get a quick picture, do none of that. Literally be there. And I'm going, truth is, when I walked up to Nipsey and I'm being brought, I'm going, I heard your name about work. That's all I paid attention to. Like, this dude's doing something in the neighborhood. I had no idea who you was. You know what I mean? Physical form, I had no idea who you was coming out of prison, man. We ain't got no TV show. We ain't got no MTV and BET. We ain't seeing that. You feel me? We got Bounce TV, the only black station, man, that would come through, and they only getting 30 minutes on the air once a week. I mean, this is real talk, right? Hey, Bus, I never, ever thought I would come out and be like, damn, they changed it from hall monitors to dick monitors. All these men out here can tell you what another man's doing with his dick. Now, my best thing to avoid that is saying, I don't know nothing about that, because if he was doing something with another man, I wasn't there seeing it. So I cannot ever report on any dude out here ever what he was doing. That means I had to get my popcorn and sit up and watch it. So now if I was watching, if you got on my phone and I had porno flicks of me and men, I'm sure the women would be like, he's got porno. I mean, that's what he's into, right? So I wouldn't know. The point is, yo, they take a brother like Nipsey, man, and you see what he was doing, but what he could have done and what he is going to do anyway, man, because that's why I say what is beautiful never dies, man, because caterpillar rise up to be a butterfly. You think Nips ain't laying all over y'all, man. The idea is to go up. So he went up. When you get up, you look down and you realize how stupid it is. You're going to insult him, but then you're going to insult his family to get, what they call that shit? I know I ain't got none of that, because I ain't even setting nothing up to get your views, likes, hit me, hit subscribe. Ain't that shit for you to subscribe to with me. I'm just a dude out of the joint that was like, yo, you know what, my dream, I wanted to come out here and march. I did all the marches, man. I was at the George Floyd for the verdict, spoke on the same mic that Jesse and them. Listen, man, I escorted, praise God, I was chosen, man, to be with the brothers over here, man, in Minneapolis, man, and do Dante Wright's funeral. You go on to CNN, I got to be with the family. Not only that, I'm the first one coming out the door, leading them in and out as their protection. I'm the one standing over Al Sharpton, getting in the car. I was put in a position like God today. You come on, and how did that happen without God? So when I see this right here and I go, damn, man, God, you put me on to this young brother Nipsey. He got the young ear. They ain't gonna listen to me. You know what I mean? Unless I tell them 50 people I killed in joint and who I beat down and what I done, they ain't gonna really listen. What their idea is thorough is like, how much work did you put in the joint? My idea thorough is I got out the joint. You dig what I'm saying? That's thorough as fuck to me, right? And I know dudes that were in the joint, man, that had 5 years. Some real serious dudes, man. Probably blink an eye, man, break your wrist, right? These dudes are serious dudes, and they do something to somebody in the prison with the hype. I'm home off a natural life, meaning I'm supposed to die in prison, and they actually in prison now on the next 40 years. Before I came in, they done this. They done bodied somebody. They done overdid it, and then now they there inside with a body and that body, and nobody out here even know they dead. That means you died there. Now, I'm going to do what I can to raise the voice about that, but that's what that means. Bringing that right directly to Nipsey, it was offensive, because I was like, God, to me, when I look at Canibus, y'all look at Canibus. When I look at Germaine Wiliams, I look at Germaine Wiliams. When I look at Kevin K. Solo, I look at Kevin. You dig what I'm saying? I look at them like, yo, we manned up here to know each other. How could they, right, Bus? How could they say, here's a future, and he's got the mic. Remember how we talk about getting up on the mic? Here's another young entrepreneur. He don't know this shit. Now, come on, let's keep it real. That's a God gift. We don't be knowing. You think Nips, if he wouldn't have been on the block that long, nor with his family, you think Nips, man, just knew flipping something on the street, He got the spirit to have that store and everything else and run the marathon no matter what nobody was going to do. That was his God gift, right? So we out here killing gods. That's why it says in that Bible, and I ain't going to go biblical on you, but I'm going to go truth. That's why it says in that Bible, man, never miss this line. Ask your pastor, ask your priest, read the Torah, Quran, wherever you're going to go. Shout out to Minister Randy, Nation of Islam, and to the Jesuits community. I got a circle of fam here, right? Yo, that's why, Bus, when you sit down, man, and really take it in, it hurts, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Not off topic. I'm just talking about the pain always supersedes my words when the pain kick in, man. The trauma of it, like, it hurts, bro. You dig what I'm saying? It hurts because
of course. And
nope.
we always got to bear in mind though that there's a bigger picture to all this, and it's a bigger game, and that's why I get intimidated by when we start to wade into these deep waters, because see what happens is, if you look, you'll see that, okay, the news cycle starts to run in a certain direction. Your names start coming up. If they don't have anything factual, they jump to, the rumor mill. And it's like they get you out there to get the people programmed in one direction. And the next thing you know, they yellow tape you, get you out of here. Now they giving you awards. Now everybody's singing your praises, but you gone. And your family is sitting there like, how did this happen? And so, me, I don't want any of the I don't want any of the attention or any of that. If I did, you would see me on social media, just trying to chime in all the goddamn time. But that's it's a trap. And so, I just want folks out there. I ain't no big fish, but there's folks out there who are, and they caught up right now with a lot of things going on. And I'm trying to, throw them a life jacket by telling the folks that's listening to the program today that don't just run with what these websites talking about, because what they're doing is they're lining you up for slaughter, and you got to start to deal with what's that spiritual currency that we're talking about, the spiritual account. We got to start to move in that direction, because this social media, it's all in the cloud anyway, and they can mimic it and make it and send it in directions that they're basically guiding you, and you become a robot. And so, you know, that's what I wanted to really get across to folks, man. Like don't get all, don't run with the herd when they start saying these things and talking about this stuff, because what they're really doing is they're setting up your favorite artist for like a sacrifice, right?
And we
And then
talking
when they're
about that
done with
sacrifice,
that,
bus. We talking about that sacrifice. That's exactly what I hit on. Like, yo, hold up, tell us this phrase, right? And that's what I wanted to say, man, about that biblical point. So I just want you to bring it back there. Yo, it says, man, ye are gods. Now, everybody that's, that do what they need to do, man, gets thesis out, whatever you do, and, your pastor, whoever, man, you run this back by them. It says, ye are gods, but you'll die like men. When I was in jail and read that line, I said, wait a minute. They talk about creating Adam and Eve and all that right there, but here it is clearly God saying, ye are gods, but you'll die like men. And I was going, oh, shit, that's a deduction. Like the devil deducted from being an angel with Michael and all. Yo, it's a deduction. And I was like, oh, shit, we gods. No wonder everybody celebrates when the baby come, like, you a god. Like, wow, look at the baby. We don't even celebrate each other adults when we're supposed to be thinking people. But we know to celebrate the baby. Even the little baby wolf knows to do that. The deer, everybody celebrates the baby, right? And protects the baby. And we lose that avenue of doing that. And I went, yo, you know what God just said? You're a God, but watch you die like a man. Over here, I'm staying on a God level. You ain't got to see me as that. You ain't got to see Germaine Wiliams as that. You ain't got to see K Solo as that. You ain't got to see Tiz as that. You ain't got to see so many other brothers, man, that was on here born. You ain't got to see nobody as real over here, because the reality is you ain't seeing real. You're on the internet hearing all these different things. That's what Bus is saying to you. You on the internet. What if you came out and got in that passport click and maybe met somebody and talked to them face to face? Like the Larry Hoover you want to help out. Let me make this clear when I talk about deductions, right? Larry Hoover, the reason he comes up, because the name, the same reason they use a J Prince or anybody else, if you ask me, man. When you were a kid, you were lying to yourself, man, not because of no gang factor what the government put out. You lying to yourself saying you wouldn't want to be J Prince, or you wouldn't have wanted to be in some form Larry Hoover, to have that many people believing in you. And when Larry Hoover was doing it, he was doing it as a social program, no different than Huey Newton was doing it. You understand that? It was being done that way. The genius minds are in there, and then those minds grew up in there at the most valuable time. We need a Larry Hoover, because y'all won't do it. You got big reps, big names. Ain't nobody listening to me. That's why I ain't got no subscribe, like button. Somebody set me up, though. Somebody set me up. But I ain't got none of that, right? Because this is like, let's just do this. Yo, you all got to understand, man. I'm going to say it. I don't know a whack 100 from nowhere. He don't know me, and he probably like, man, listen, man, I'm already getting mine. I'm on Clubhouse and all that. I hear it. You understand? I don't know a Big U. I don't know this Hassan Kemp. I don't know none of these dudes, Gilly and none of that. But I pay attention to what they say. See, in prison, you learn to do that. You don't be running your mouth in the joint. You better be a great listener like the mic's supposed to be. You understand that? And if you're not a great listener, you're going to be a great victim in there. right? So I paid attention, man, to real dudes. And I'm saying, yo, when they can manipulate real dudes, no matter what their circumstances were, when they can manipulate all of them to come out the woodwork and go public with everything they needed on them, like, yo, tell me one more thing about Big U, because eventually you're going to tie him to this homicide we about to set him up with. You go ahead, Whack. Yeah, they can say you this and that and that. However it's going to go down, we're going to tie you too. We're going to tie all of y'all to something, because that's what hate does. It pushes you so far, like you said, the guts come out. We are gods, and we're going to die like men. Do you understand? I ain't reducing to that for nobody, and watch nobody march on no Capitol, and watch nobody go here, take votes and take women's rights, and you see taking, and somebody's going to convince you, that ain't got nothing to do with me. When you go to that gas and you go buy that gas price got something to do with you, Holmes. Otherwise, you ain't got no gas. You ain't going nowhere. We gods and we dying like men out here, man. And then you bring it over here. That was the point of the show today. Then you bring it over here. You didn't even know we over here. You know why you know over here? You don't know what a bad boy of good talk is. You don't know bumpthatradio.com. You're going to know, right? You don't know where Canibus is talking at. Where might he be talking? I ain't even heard from Solo on them in a minute, man. Where people talking at? You know why? Because we wasn't trying to get over there. That wasn't the idea. We do this to a particular group of people. It don't even have to be large, right? It has to be right. There's a difference.
And some of these brothers are
There's a difference.
in leadership positions.
You understand that?
Some of these brothers are in leadership positions, and they're having to follow what the narrative is.
Right. And when I was saying the Larry Hoover part, when I was saying the Larry Hoover part, I was saying it for this reason here. In order to get a man out, right? In order to get him out and to make the government understand his worth and say he's going to come back to our community, he's valuable, he can change something out here. Yo, he did a lot of time, man. Larry Hoover right now, we need him too, man. We losing the black community. We got race things going on here, man. We got COVID. We got everything. The world is at a miss. We got bombs dropping in Ukraine. Shout out to them. Respect to them. And their president is holding it down. He didn't stay over there and say, get me out on a plane and get me out of here, man. I respect him. He's a G. We want to talk G. Gangsta Gone Legit, the Innocent Edition. The Innocent Edition of Gangsta Gone Legit. Get hip to me. Get to that, because this is real. They didn't do none of that. They stand up. They man up, right? And I'm going to bring it right back to this point, man. They are natural gods given the gift. The same way you, a Park, a Biggie, you understand, a Rakim, man, the way most deaf, way y'all can get on a mic, man, right, and tell us something, you understand that actually changes our lives. Imagine saying something that would actually change our lives. You understand that? Because if you don't know this math, I'm talking about it now, Bus, because we short here, man. I've been holding it too, and I'm saying, yo, the reason Germaine Wiliams joined in, man, with me on doing the whole Innocent idea was for me to be able to say, I'm going to say something from Larry, because what they doing out here is showing like we wild, we crazy, but we shouting Larry's name, and the government can go, Larry, you ain't going nowhere, because they ain't doing nothing right. So we ain't going to cheer you up and be like, free Larry Hoover, because we thought if you had them and you could say something, we'll let a Negro go because we want to control them. That's what we always use, another Negro. Only thing is, we'll let you go do your positive shit for a while because we got enough of them acting up. And then Larry Hoover can come on out and he could be running some programs and doing what he's doing like Big U was doing. But they don't know the game. They don't know how to even play in Big U. They playing him into a, thorough 5G from what I can see, man. You know what I mean? But the point is, when you try to do the right thing, that's what I was talking about earlier. Ladies, they're going to hit a real one with a label. Now, there's usually 3 of them, right? He's a rat. He's a homo. He ain't got shit. That's what they hit a God with. Well, you know who they might do all that to, and worse? Jesus. They put him on a cross. Nipsey don't give a damn if you down here calling him whatever you call him. I'm going to say that for him. He probably could care less. When you in paradise, no different when one of them get their Rolls Royce, and you in that, you is not talking to the dude that's in the Prius that's yelling at you, talking about move the car. You understand? Yo, you don't even see the Prius dude because your hump's so big and you in a bubble so big, it looks like a tricycle next to you, right? That's what's yelling at us in the industry. They playing them, man. They saying, hey, Big you could really do this. We got to get you an adversary and getting you one of us and blasting you in the news saying you was an ex-gangbanger. Nah, a lot of y'all do change. Let me get you an adversary, and I'm going to get your adversary from your friend. Yo, the people that are busting at each other were friends.
Along the lines of everything that you're saying, my section sergeant, Sergeant P, used to say this all the time to us. He was a Viking. He was a Nordic. He was of Nordic origin. And,
Bus was in the military. They might not know that Bus.
Man. And what Sergeant P used to say is he used to always say, and when the time arose, when I fall in situations like that, lost in action, things like that, he would address it by saying that in order to make us feel better in the very beginning, you can't, you're not able to accept this. But he would say that the dead got it easy. And what he meant by that was, it took us a while to get it. What he meant by that was, when you're gone from here, whatever mark you were trying to make, that's done now. That race is over. And so your job here or your purpose here is over. What they do with your name behind that or your legacy, that's why I always say love, life, and legacy. That's kind of what you put down, right? You can't add on to it anymore. It's done. People got to pick that baton up and run it for you. But the dead do indeed have it easy. But it's those who get left behind. They got to pick up the pieces and make sense of it. And so we got to start thinking about those, our loved ones, the ones that we would leave behind when we're not here anymore. And so you use that in order to motivate you and encourage you to be the best you that you can be while you're here. Because when you're gone, you're not thinking about the bills no more. You're not thinking about the social media. You're not thinking, man, I wish I could post today. You're not thinking about none of that. You're in a different dimension. You're in a different situation. And, I ain't been there yet, so I don't know what exactly you got to do. I don't even know how time works on that side. But I tell you this, your family is still here. Your loved ones are still here. And so it is imperative that you remember that when you're gone, you got it easy. Now they got to pick up the pieces. So that's how these leaders out here, that's how they got to move, man, in our communities and any other community that's listening. That's how y'all got to move, man. Stop moving like what you do here, it's going to last forever, or, that you're the only one, you're not tethered to anything. When you're gone, it's over here. Your race here is done now. You ain't got to think about one more thing. If you got to go to the dentist, you got something, one of them teeth falling out, got to go get that little root canal or something. You ain't got to think about that no more. But your family that's left behind, they gotta pick up all the pieces. So that's where I'm coming from with it, man. Just recognize, man, that we need to start being a little bit more mindful, a lot more mindful of how what we're doing affects our loved ones. And that's I'm not bucking on social media like that because I get it. Y'all really love it. Even though I was there before any of you, before there was a real social media. I was there first. I remember how that was. And when I had my computer, like, certain people mentioned I come to the studio, I had a computer, I was online, I was on the internet. I was saying to myself, one day, man, everybody gonna be addicted to this, man, because I was. And that's why I built the website, Canibus.com. And that's why I was trying to create an infrastructure where we could have our own and own something. And no one wanted to hear that because second round took up all the attention, all the spotlight, and no one wanted to hear anything else. I did songs like What's Going On, where I was trying to, basically, dial down the gun violence and stuff. Nobody wanted to hear that. They just wanted more of second round knockout. And for the people who did want to hear it, it didn't matter for them anyway because the media had the narrative. So what I'm saying to you is the same thing that y'all are worshiping is what's trapping you. That's the same thing that's shackling us. It's the same thing that y'all worshiping. So y'all got to take some responsibility in that and take some of that power back. Don't give all that power and all that energy to people who want you like evaporated. They want you annihilated, and you worship that. Y'all got to get your priorities straight, and I ain't perfect. I go through it too. I make mistakes. I go through things or what have you. But, a lot of times when stuff is said, there's a timeout. There's a timeout segment there where I'll just, kick back and see what's happening and wait till everything's, said. And then I might come and chime in. And if it's too crazy, I'll leave it alone altogether because, like I said, it's just there to trap you. It's not there to help you. Shit ain't paying your bills. Shit ain't helping you. Like, what's the point in getting millions and millions of views for something that's so negative you'll never be able to outlive it? What's the point in that? You know? I mean, sure, you popular for that, but do you want to be known only for that? I mean, I'm stuck in that situation just with like second round knockout, and they tried to make this into something. And what do we do? Because of the bad boy, good talk, K Solo, Tiz, PO, they came on here. They answered the clarion call, and they came on here to help me reinforce, or go ahead and frame the idea that we got to deal with that with love. The hate will get you into all kinds of situations, but the love is the only thing that's gonna get you out. And I gotta run, man. We went way past our slot for the show. I got to run.